Κυρία Κουντουρά, να σας ευχαριστήσουμε πολύ. Τα στοιχεία που μας παραθέσατε και ακόμα μία φορά είναι συγκλονιστικά ως προς τον αριθμό των θανάτων στην άσφαλτο. Αυτό που με ανησυχεί είναι ότι αρχίζουμε και συνηθίζουμε λίγο τα υπερβολικά αυτά νούμερα. Θα σταθώ λίγο σε αυτό που είπατε για τις νέες μορφές κινητικότητας και πόσο σημαντικό είναι να προσαρμοστούν και οι κανόνες αλλά και η παιδεία πάνω στην παρουσία καινούριων ευάλωτων ομάδων χρήσης του δρόμου. Με την ευχή λοιπόν το Vision Zero να γίνει πραγματικότητα το συντομότερο δυνατό, θα προχωρήσουμε στον επόμενο ομιλητή μας, τον κύριο Μάθιου Baldwin, ο οποίος θυμίζω ότι είναι συντονιστής της Ευρωπαϊκής Επιτροπής για την Οδική Ασφάλεια και τη Βιώσιμη Κινητικότητα, είναι αναπληρωτής Γενικός Διευθυντής της Γενικής Διεύθυνσης Μεταφορών της Ευρωπαϊκής Επιτροπής DG Move, ο οποίος θα μας εξηγήσει αν και πόσο ασφαλής είναι η ευρωπαϊκή δρόμη, πόσο απαραίτητη είναι η συνεργασία μεταξύ των κρατών και πόσο εφικτή είναι η συνεργασία μεταξύ των κρατών μελών για τη δημιουργία ενός κοινού πλαισίου κανόνων οδικής ασφάλειας, ενώ θα μας περιγράψει και ποιοι είναι οι παράγοντες που διασφαλίζουν ομαλές και χωρίς απρόοπτα διαδρομές. Mr. Baldwin.
Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry I shall be speaking in English. I don't think it would be good for either of us if I tried to do it in Greek. But I must say how wonderful it is to be here in Athens. Everyone was telling me the weather is terrible. You're going to freeze. If this is bad weather, I'll take it. Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be here. We are here to talk about a sad subject, which is deaths on Europe's roads. And my first question to you is to ask, how safe are Europe's roads? And the short answer is, they are getting a bit safer, including here in Greece, and I'll say more about that, but they are not yet safe enough. And I'm very sorry. This is because we are used to working in COVID times, and everyone is looking on the screen, and you cannot possibly see this little picture here. This has the member states of the European Union from the safest on the left, which is Sweden, all the way over to the least safe, which I'm sad to say at the moment is Romania. And you can see the divergence between the member states. This blue line, which you possibly can see, is the average. And as Έλενας Κουντουρά has rightly said, Greece has come down a lot. If I can just walk over and I'll show you. Here is Greece. This is where it was. It's come down. It has come down a lot. Road deaths across the European Union have been falling. We will be publishing the 2021 figures in the coming days. The bad news is that the significant falls that we saw in 2020 because of COVID, people were not driving, have not been maintained in 2021. So we have a lot more work to do to achieve our goal of achieving a 50% reduction of road deaths by 2030. And again, as Έλενας Κουντουρά has put it so well, it is a joint responsibility achieving Vision Zero. It is about action at the European and the national and the regional and the local level. All our authorities, our police, our health services, and of course all road users. On Greece, it is a pleasure to be here to celebrate a little bit your success. I'm looking at Manos from the Greek ministry for everything you've done. Greece, in fact, if you look at that graph, it's clear it's the only member state to have achieved a 50% reduction target from 2010 to 2020. The Greek reduction was 54%. The EU average was 36%. Both 2019 and 2020 were the safest years on record in Greece. And it is as a result that Greece won this very prestigious European Transport Safety Council award last year, and it was a great moment for me to see it. The data for 2021, let's be clear, is not so good. It's a 5% rise compared to 2020. That still means, however, a reduction of 12% against 2019. So all of these reasons show it's a moment to celebrate Greek success, but as for the European Union, it is not the moment to say mission accomplished. It is a step on the road, and what so much pleases me about the Greek attitude to road safety is not being satisfied with where you are and I'll say more about this. I will be short because, Elena, you put it so well. Renewed efforts are still very much needed, in particular with respect to vulnerable road users. So to your report, and that's another reason for celebration today, to thank you for the report you've done on behalf of the European Parliament. I think I was very interested to hear what you said. These reports, it may not always be clear in Greece, they are not easy to do. You have to get the support of your colleagues to actually even do the report. You can't wake up one morning and say, road safety is important, I'm going to do it. It is the Commission, the European Parliament's own initiative to do it, and it's a big deal. And to actually then get all the colleagues to agree from all the different political groupings, you said you were very satisfied, Mrs. Contura, and you should be. The report is very strong. It signals the strong support within the Transport Committee for Road Safety, but it also signals very powerfully your own persistent personal commitment to this. And I appreciate very much the support you've said for the Commission's work, and I completely understand you push us to go further, and we will do our best to go further wherever we can. This is just some of the highlights as far as we're concerned. The strong support for Vision Zero and the safe system, the link to sustainability. We shouldn't treat safety in isolation anymore. It's part of a much broader question about how we tackle climate change, how we reduce our air pollution, the need for more investment, the importance of the European Road Safety Exchange, key performance indicators, the European Road Safety Agency, safe road use. All of these things I will say more about, and I fully agree with the list here. Just on one point, and it's important, we're always very frank, you make the point about the recommendation on speed. We very much agree in the Commission that speed is one of the main factors. We're addressing it with our key performance indicators. I'll say a word or two in a moment about that. In the view of my Commissioner, Adina Valean, national, regional and local authorities are the best place to define the most appropriate speed limits. We note that a number of them have already chosen new speed management initiatives. Others have adopted complementary measures, such as on infrastructure, which is why Mrs. Valean believes that EU recommendations at this stage are not necessary, but we will continue to monitor and support the work that others are doing on this field, and we'll monitor and support that very, very closely. So a quick look at road safety in the EU. These four bubbles, which maybe you can see if you're on the front row, are EU legislation, EU policy framework, EU outreach and support, and last but not least, EU funding. And I will go quickly into a number of them. So you mentioned the safe system, which is now the basis to the EC's policy framework. And it's a radical notion, it's a philosophical notion, and here we are at the home of philosophy, so why not think about this for a moment. It says that road deaths and serious injuries are not inevitable. They are not the price we pay for our mobility. They are not acts of God. They are not mistakes. And the safe system says we must stop talking about accidents. We must talk about road crashes, because the word accident implies it just happened. Nothing anyone could do about it. And we need to focus on human vulnerability on the roads and what is killing us and what is seriously injuring us. And this little diagram, again, you won't be able to see it, describes the different elements with at the heart the notion of Vision Zero. Yes, we should think big. We should think about trying to reduce our fatalities all the way to zero, but looking at the different areas we can address through safe road use, through safe vehicles, through post-crash care, safe roads and roadsides, and last but not least, through, of course, safe speeds. There is no correct level of road deaths. The correct level of road deaths is zero. It is not unattainable. People who drove in the 1970s and 80s, when I learned to drive, I know it's hard to believe, but I am that old, they would never have believed at that time that we could make the roads so safe. Let's go the next step and deliver all the way. There is, I'm afraid, a long way still to go. So when we talk about the European Union is not a sort of an abstract thing in Brussels, and Mrs. Kuntura's report shows that very well. It's about working with the national level. It's most of the competence, in fact, in road safety is exercised at the national level because that's where road traffic laws are set, in areas like speed management and enforcement. It doesn't mean that the European Union doesn't have a role to play or is not interested or involved with national road safety. In fact, we're working very closely with member states' authorities. I was talking to Manos before this meeting about your new national road safety plan, which is coming forward, we hope, in April. We really look forward to discussing that. We want to see member states adopting, as we have at the European level, the 50% reduction target by 2030. Again, Greece managed it last decade. Do it again. And we want to see these reduction targets. We also want to see these reduction achievements. I'll say more about some of the other areas in a moment, but I just want to pick up on these words here, enabling cities. You were kind enough to mention in your introduction, I'm also managing the project to have 100 climate-neutral cities. Delighted that Athens and other big cities like Thessaloniki and others have applied to join this program. And why is that important in this context? Because you can't have sustainability without safety. More and more of us are living in cities, and the points that you made, Mrs. Kuntura, are very valid. 70% of the deaths in our cities are now occurring not to people in cars, but to the vulnerable road users, the unprotected, the motorcyclists, the cyclists, the pedestrians. And we can and we must do more to reduce those. We mentioned key safety performance indicators. We now have 8 of them. It's a bit of a cliche to say it, but if you don't measure a problem, you can't manage the problem. And that's what the KPIs are, to try to build across the EU road safety policy framework and to monitor across the EU different aspects to underpin our target of 50% reduction in fatalities and serious injuries. And we at the EU are supporting, including financially, the data collection and analysis of the KPIs through a consortium of 19 member states. And again, you won't be able to read this from the back, but these are the 8 KPIs. We're measuring the percentage of vehicles travelling within the speed limit, the percentage of vehicle occupants using the safety belt, and so on. And then all the way down through protective equipment, through alcohol, the percentage of drivers within the legal limit, the percentage of drivers not using a handheld mobile device when we're driving along. We shouldn't be doing it. Vehicle safety, infrastructure, and post-crash care. So all of the member states are gathering this data, 19 within this consortium. The first data will be presented, we hope, in October at our results conference, followed the next day by the final General Assembly of what we call the Baseline Project. We will be funding, again, the Baseline Project for Phase 2, further data collection throughout the coming years, and we hope to have a really definitive picture by next year or the year after. These KPIs shouldn't be static. They shouldn't be just where we leave them. We want to sharpen them. We want to pilot some new KPIs. You had some very interesting suggestions, Mrs. Kuntura, in your report, and the ETSC has also come up with new ideas. So a project we want to advance. I'm going a bit too slowly talking of advancing. Should I speed up a bit? Yes. EU legislative developments. We do, and we can and we do legislate at European level. Here are just a few very quick examples of things we can do. The vehicle you drive, because of the single market rules, must meet the same safety standards in Greece as in Germany, as in Portugal, across the European Union. And we've used this over the years to drive an important set of safety improvements. Things like the structure of the car, the safety belts you wear, and most recently, the intelligent speed assistance. For the first time, all new models from this summer will have to have intelligent speed assistance, all new cars from 2024, and this will be providing drivers with a constant reminder of the need to keep within speed limits. We're revising the 10T regulation, if you like, the roads, the big roads all the way across Europe, with an increased focus on how we connect between the different modes in transport, between ports and airports, and the urban side, focusing on the last mile journeys and passengers and freight. And last but not least, we're focusing again on the urban mobility framework. And as what I was saying about the importance of road safety in our cities, we will be requiring our largest cities to produce sustainable urban mobility plans, of course, also including focus on safety. In terms of our future plans, we're working to revise the EU Driving Licence Directive and our Cross-Border Enforcement Directive. That's important because when people come to Greece on their holidays and they speed in Greece and pick up tickets, it's sometimes not always so easy to ensure that those tickets are paid, and drivers know this. And so this will be an important thing we could do at the European level to ensure that the road laws are respected in each member state. We'll be looking at our roadworthiness package. That's the package of safety inspections of cars, making sure that these are safe across the European Union. And we'll be continuing to reflect on guidance on alcohol limits and on distraction through use of phones. Mrs. Kunturi, you mentioned funding, and of course that's very important. And very quickly to look at the different areas. And the way I want you to see this is as a menu. There are lots of ways we can fund road safety in the European Union. The Recovery and Resilience Facility, our huge financial bazooka post-COVID, can and must do a lot to address road safety through things like infrastructure. We can continue to do it through the Connecting Europe facility, through the European Regional Development Fund, all the different structural funds, the cohesion money that we all talk about. Through Horizon Europe, we can and must do more to research and integrate the outputs of those research initiatives on road safety. We're working with the European Investment Bank in a thing we call the Safer Transport Platform. And last but not least, we have INDICI, the new Neighbourhood Development and International Cooperation Instrument, by which we fund global road safety. The UN Road Safety Fund, which I have the honour to chair the advisory board, road safety in Africa, because this is a global mechanism. But the main message I have is that Greece should and must and can look at all of these different funding possibilities, use them to the max, because they can really make a difference. And last but not least, how can we do more to reach out beyond our little corner in Brussels to do more? And here I'll be very brief, but we talk a lot about road safety. It's great to see, where is she? I can't find her now. Siliki, and all our friends from the European Road Safety Charter, and everything we do, there you are, all we do to promote excellence through road safety awards. We've got new urban road safety awards. We have, as a perfect description of the partnership between the Parliament, the Commission, the Member States, and the European Transport Safety Council, we have this new baby called the European Road Safety Exchange, which Greece has played a very full part in, and I'll leave that to Antonio to say more about, because he's done most of the work on it, but it's a fantastic embodiment of the spirit by which we can work together to make things better. There's cross-border transport police cooperation through an organisation called RoadPol. There's political engagement through the high-level group on road safety, which I chair and which Manos is a key member of. We collect data together through CARE and through the European Road Safety Observatory. And last but not least, we cooperate internationally. As I mentioned a moment ago on funding, we are determined to play a full role in the international discussions with a big high-level meeting in New York this summer in the United Nations to do more. And why, and this is where I will stop, you'll be glad to hear, why it's so important. It comes back to the pandemic nature of this problem we have on road safety. I use that word advisedly. It's the pandemic we forgot. COVID, we've dealt with, we've addressed it. We're on the road to winning that battle. Road safety has been with us for so many years we've forgotten about it. But 1.3 million deaths a year on global roads. We have to do more. We can do more. We can do it together. Thank you very much for your attention.